there, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to do my top makeup brushes video. This is a video that I really enjoy watching on other people's channels. Love finding new brushes that are going to make putting on my makeup that much easier. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to start off with the foundation brushes that I own, and they are, well, this is the first one, and this is the Sigma F60 foundation brush. It just looks like this. This is super handy for when I want to mix my shades of foundation. I don't think I've ever used this to actually blend in my foundation because I much prefer the synthetic kabuki style ones, but this one's really good for mixing, like I said, and also if you had some kind of cream bronzer to get inside the cheeks there, into the hollows of the cheeks, this would be really handy for. So I recommend having a brush like this in your collection. And you can get these for really cheap. I don't know how much this was individually, but I will have a link to Sigma below and you can find a lot of my brushes there, and if not, I will tell you where the rest are from. The next two I'm putting together because they're so similar, and apologies that all of my brushes are pretty much dirty because I used most of them today because I was doing a different makeup look earlier and then I redid my makeup as normal. So I had to use basically all of my brushes so I could use the clean set the second time. But these are also from Sigma, and I've had these so long that names have rubbed off, or they have on this one. I'll just show you anyway. It's kind of more of a rounded synthetic brush, and this is amazing for blending in foundation and concealer, and I really like this shape one. I have a flat one as well, but I don't know where that is at the moment. And then I have the angled one. Oop, there's a hair. And this one also is amazing for blending in foundation and getting in under the eyes there. This is also good for a cream product in the hollows of your cheek. So this is the F84. This one still has the number on it. Then I have my stippling brush, which as you can see has not been used for foundation today, but it has been used for blusher. This is also by Sigma, and it is the Duo Fiber F50 brush, it says here. And as you can see, it's a Duo Fiber brush. And this I've loved for doing blusher recently. It's really nice for foundation also, particularly really liquidy foundations. I find it's really nice for, but I've also loved using this for blusher on the apples of my cheek, particularly with a cream blusher, because then you don't get as much product and you can blend it out nicely with the synthetic hairs. Also, this is nice for, I use this with my Body Shop Honey Bronzer and kind of swirl it in there, and then just for an overall bronze look, because it doesn't really focus the colour on the brush. It doesn't really focus the product on the brush in one particular area because it just moves it around. So I love this brush. This next brush is probably one of my favourite brushes that I've ever owned, and is the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, and it looks like this. I do not use it in my crease for eyeshadow, but I use it for concealer. As you can see, it's dirty at the moment. This is also a synthetic brush, so it works so well at blending out cream or liquid concealers, and I love this baby for getting in under the eyes. It's so good for doing that V shape, and right now I feel like I couldn't live without this, and I don't know how I lived before it. The next couple of brushes are powder based brushes that I mostly use for powder things. So the first is this brush, which is the Powder brush by Real Techniques, and this is so fluffy and nice. I love this. This can really pack on a lot of powder if you wanted to, or just, you know, if you just used a little bit of product, you could just dust it over your face. But I love this for using it with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, because then I can get a lot of that product on there, and because the product itself is so fine, it doesn't cake, but it still gets everywhere and really gives me that flawless effect. That's what I love using this brush for. I've never used it for anything but powder, but of course you could use it for blusher or anything like that, or bronzer to get an overall bronze look. The next one is also this one's a Sigma brush, and it's the F40 Large Angled Contour, and it looks like this. This is also a bit pink because I was using it with a different blusher, but I just like to use this with blusher because the shape just complements the way you want to apply your blusher. But obviously this is probably meant more for a contour, which is really good for that as well. Just sometimes I feel like it's too wide for that and it fits my cheekbones better. I can't remember if this was a lot more tapered when I bought it, but I've had these brushes for at least 2, maybe 3 years now, so they probably have lost a bit of their shape, but they're still doing the job perfectly. The next brush is the exact same, just like this. It's a bit thinner, so I use this for bronzer more often. And this is by the brand Fräulein 38. And I got this brush in a set when I did a part-time makeup course a couple of years ago. So if I can find these online, I will link them below. And then from the same brand of brushes with the red stem, is that what it's called? Red handle, is just a round one. And I also like this for doing bronzer or blusher. It's just handy to have a couple of these brushes around. So moving on to eye brushes. The first pair I'm going to go into, or the first section, are flat shader brushes. I think these are essential in your collection, and the first one I have here is from Sigma. It's called the Eye Shading E55 brush. It looks like this. And it's just really flat and dense, and you can pack a lot of colour on with this. That's what I use it for, packing a lot of colour. And also because it's thin at the top, I use it for under my eye on the outer corner and the inner corner, but you know, getting a really under eye smoky look with that one. And then the other two do similar jobs. I have the MAC 239 brush, which is a little less dense, but it is nice and tapered. Is that the word? Nice and thin at the top, so that's really good for doing that as well. And getting in the V at the edge of your eye if you want to intensify that. And this is a slightly larger one, and this is, I don't know where, I'm pretty sure this is from the Boots Bamboo brush set. If I can find it, I will link it below. This is a really old brush, but if you can get one this shape, I mean, you're going to get the same effect. I use this for just in my eyebrow there because it fits perfectly for doing a highlight color. I really like that for that purpose. Next section of brushes, that is hard to say, are domed shadow brushes. So this one is, I think it's from the same collection as this, but I'm not too sure. But it's just a domed brush, and this is really handy for getting in the crease. I feel like I have quite a deep crease as well, so this fits in there perfectly. And the edges blend around the outside, and the middle obviously packs the colour into that area. And then this one does just as good a job, and this is from e.l.f. It's called e.l.f. Professional Blending Eye Brush. And this literally costs like €2 or €3, probably even cheaper in the States. e.l.f. is an online company if you don't know, I will link it below. But this brush is really good, and I know sometimes people have said that these brushes are hit and a miss sometimes, but I think I got a good one anyway. It's not as dense as the other one, but it does a perfect job, and it's slightly smaller, so you could get in there even more precise, which I really like. And it's super cheap and affordable, really soft, had it for a couple of years, no problems with it, it doesn't even shed. So check out e.l.f.'s brushes if you're interested. The next group of brushes are brushes that I would use for more more precision type things, and that is these three brushes right here. The first one is from Real Techniques, and it is a brow brush, it says, but I've been using this recently for eyeliner. It's a bit thick for eyeliner, some people might think, but I like it. I've recently lost my smaller one of these. It wasn't by Real Techniques, but it was slightly smaller, but this is still really good for doing eyeliner, especially with powder eyeshadow. I like that for that. And then blend it upwards. It's really dense and it doesn't go all over the place, so you can really just get a straight line if you want it, and then blend it because the hairs are nice and soft as well, but they're just packed in there. So I really like this brush. The next one is this pencil brush, and this is by Sigma. It is the Pencil E30 brush, and it's really small and tapered and perfect for getting into that inner corner, getting underneath the eye, in the crease, under your eyebrow, anywhere you could use this, even for a contour in your nose if you wanted it to be really precise. This next brush I use for my lips, and it is kind of like a paint brush. It has the colour that I have on my lips today on it, and it says MAC here, but it's not MAC. It was a fake MAC brush, which I didn't know at the time. I think I got it as a gift, but it does a great job at getting really precise around the edges of my lip, so it's kind of acts like a lip liner. And yeah, you could easily use a paintbrush for this job if you wanted to, but this is just what I have and I find it works really well. Then the next couple of brushes are all blending brushes. So I'll start with my two favourites, and the first one is the Sigma E35 Tapered Blending Brush, which is famous at this stage, and I think everyone on the YouTube world, in the YouTube beauty world, has this, and it's just the perfect blending brush. It's like the MAC 229, is that what it's called? I actually don't have any of them, and I only have one of these, I just wash it continuously, and I have a few other blending brushes that I use when this is dirty. But this is just the perfect blending brush. I think we all know it by now, and I could not live without this. The next one is the Tapered Blending E40 by Sigma, and it looks like this, slightly bigger. I find this really good for when I'm kind of finished doing my blending on my eye, going over the entire look and blending it out, and it just makes it super blended, and these two work really well together. The next one is a tapered blending brush, and this one is the Sigma Medium Angled Shading E70 brush. It looks like that. I really like this for getting in the V and then blending it while I'm putting it in there, and underneath the eye. It goes up in an angle, so I find it just really suits the shape of my eye underneath. That's really handy for that. And then the last three are pretty similar. Standard little blending brushes, and they have really soft bristles. And I got these at a market when I was younger, the Fairy House Market. If you're from Ireland or Dublin, probably you only know where that is, but I got these at a market, and they're just basic blending brushes, but they do the job just fine, and they were really cheap, I think, at the time. So I use these when those two are dirty or alongside them, and particularly the small one is handy for doing underneath the eye and on the inner corner and stuff. I just feel like you can never have too many of these types of brushes or too many of this type of brush. So that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because that would make me very happy. Subscribe to my channel if you're new to see more of my videos, and please leave a comment below so that I can interact with you guys, and leave a comment below of what you'd like to see from me so that I can make more videos. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye! What's my hair look like? What? It just fell out. I think I have poppy seeds in my teeth. God, I talk way too fast.